So while I'm not the biggest fan of Avatar, and I'm not talking Last Airbender, I am a fan of Last Airbender, I'm talking about the Blue People Avatar. I watched the first movie, and I was like, oh, this was cool. This was a cool movie. But then I thought about it, I was like, oh yeah, it's just Pocahontas with blue people. Like, it's just Last Samurai. It's just all of those movies. And yeah, I never saw the second one, and I don't and like, real talk, is there any, like, a major fandom for Avatar? Is there, like, a major, like, super fandom, like the level, like Star Wars or Star Trek or something like that? Like, is there, like, a... Because I like, everyone talks about it, and then, like, everyone doesn't remember it. Hell, I still don't know how Avatar 2 got as much money as it did. But I digress. Anyway. But I thought it would be kind of cool for this video to talk about, like, one of these scenario vids I like to do. And what is that scenario in question? Well, this one is, as you can see from the title, what if the Xenomorphs infested Pandora? Yeah. And it's kind of funny, too, because in theory, Disney or Marvel, Disney by way of Marvel, could technically do this. Like, they could easily make an alien Avatar comic, and from Marvel, put it out there, and it'd probably make money. I would not be opposed to reading it, just if only to watch Xenomorphs fight, infest Na'vi. Like that, it literally, you could do this, Disney and Marvel, you could do this. It's also like how I keep saying to Marvel, you have the power to do something Dark Horse and Boom Studios should have done, which was an Alien Predator Planet of the Apes crossover. Now you have all 3 IPs under you. You could do AVPA, or AVPPOTP? That's too much. Anyway. So, let's talk about, like, what would happen realistically if you dropped Xenomorphs. Like, let's say, like, a ship carrying Xenomorphs crash landed on Pandora. What happens next? Well, the thing you have to remember with Xenomorphs is that the Xenomorph hive, these things move like a colony of ants. Big, quadrupedal, fanged and clawed and sharp-tailed, bleeding, fast-thinking ants. That's what they really are. Like, at the end of the day, they are basically like a big ant or a bee. That's what Xenomorph colonies are. Run by a queen, and they are formidable warriors. But the thing of it is that the Xenomorphs, whenever they land on a planet, whenever they come upon a new home, or land on a planet, their first job is to establish a nest. So the Xenomorphs are probably going to try to find a spot to hide. Somewhere deep underground, somewhere like dank and warm, where the queen could, plant eggs in peace. Somewhere where it's warm, dark, and dank, like a cave system. And apparently, like, a lot of Pandora does have a lot of unexplored caves that can be used by the Xenomorphs to, to use as a nest. Like different cave systems. And once that's done, eggs are going to start being hatched, and the gatherer and the warrior class and the drone class Xenomorphs are going to go out into Pandora, probably at night, and snatch up whatever they could find and bring it back down for the facehuggers, and begin a new cycle. And the thing of it is that the Xenomorphs are like a cancer. Whenever they show up on a planet, they move and harvest new life fast. They do it quick, they are efficient, and their breeding population is nothing short of fast. They are these guys. Remember, in the Dark Horse comics, it was impossible for Earth to hold control of the planet. It was hard for the human race to control the planet when the Xenomorphs started to spread. It took them all of, I think it was less than 5 years to totally infest the planet and make it uninhabitable. So imagine what these things. Also, let's also talk about all the creatures that Xenomorphs could hunt and find and drag down, and what kind of monstrosities the Xenomorphs could create from those from the wildlife of the Xenomorph of Pandora. Like, what could you just imagine real fast? Like, what kind of horrors, what they could make from the animals there? There's and I'm not even gotten to the Na'vi yet. Now, the Na'vi are very connected to nature itself, so I think they would pick up real fast that, hey, something's really wrong here. Like, something's not right. There's something weird going wrong, and it's not tickling my pickle. So the Na'vi, through their connection with nature, is that they would probably pick up real fast that there is something going on, like a corruption. And that's what Xenomorphs are, is that they are like a walking plague. These dudes don't, like the Xenomorphs spread. That's all they do. They're like a cancer. All they do is make eggs, get face huggers, and make baby aliens. That's all. And that's what they're going to do here. And the thing of it is that Xenomorphs are smart. When they just, if they get discovered, they're going to fight. They like, if the Na'vi do discover the Xenomorphs quickly, that's going to depend on if they can figure out the Xenomorphs and stop this spread fast. Then they could probably kill it. Now, would they be able to, since the creatures they'd be, making new Xenomorphs from are creatures from Pandora, could the Na'vi, like, connect with them? I don't think so. That's never been a thing for the in any case with the Xenomorph, whatever alien race it is. They're always connected to the hive. So, there's no, like, I could see it, like, some Na'vi idiot would, I see you. And then the Xenomorph, like, this towering Xenomorph made from some animal from Pandora that makes it just huge, and, like, this Na'vi warrior would just come up and be like, I see you, beautiful creature. And the Xenomorph just grabs him and just puts his tongue through that fucking blue bastard's face. And not to mention, could you just imagine, just think about, like, if there could be flying Xenomorphs, they'd be like the Kenner toys all over again. I'm literally giving you toy ideas, Marvel. Anyway, now let's talk about, like, when inevitably the Xenomorphs encounter the Na'vi. Like, let's get to that part now. When the Na'vi discover the Xenomorphs, that's going to be the biggest issue. Xenomorphs, even though Na'vi are much taller and they do have a height advantage over them, Xenomorphs are on pretty much the same level of speed and agility as they are. But the thing is, Na'vi have different tribes, and all of those tribes are separated and whatnot, and they all have very primitive weapons. Xenomorphs, they fight in numbers. That's where they really are. Like, remember, one Xenomorph can be a problem. A couple hundred, and depending on what monstrosities are made from Pandora, by the time the Na'vi catch on as to what's going on, therein lies your problem. And the other thing is, Xenomorphs can reproduce really fast. All they need is to, like, drag some Na'vi away, like, drag them away, and then just face hug them. And then you have Na'vi Xenomorphs, which I imagine would just be tall and probably, like just really big. Now, what about the RDA? The not Weyland-Yutani company. They'd be fucked too. You really, think about it. The Weyland-Yutani program has tried multiple times to control the Xenomorphs, and how well has that gone for them? Oh, but the RDA has big mech suits. Okay. Cool. You know how fast a Xenomorph blood can just leak through? And also, the RDA itself is completely cartoonishly stupid. Like, it's amazing how these guys have lost to, people with, granted, people who are taller and stronger and also have poison-tipped weapons, but how they lost to, how they lost to a people of with much less technology, but they did have an understanding of the world and had no real military control. I can see why the Na'vi win. But I digress. But the RDA, the RDA's got, we're gonna go on a bug hunt, and then Xenomorph just comes in and just fucking eats them. The only way the Na'vi can literally save their planet from in total xenomorph infestation is you got to get to that hive fast. You have got to get to that first hive fast, because if you give the xenomorphs enough time, they will amass a swarm. And it won't matter if you have, the power of nature and friendship on your side. There's going to be either a spider vagina monster on your face that's going to implant a worm that's going to bust out of your chest, or you're going to see a mouth open and another mouth is going to go punching through your skull. That's the whole point. The only way you beat the Xenomorphs fully is you gotta just nuke them off the face of the earth. It's the only way to be sure. So yeah, there you go. But you guys tell me in the comments below, what do you think it would be like if the Xenomorphs infested Pandora? Do you think it would go like how I've been saying, or do you think it would go somewhere else? Just comment below, let me know. Once again, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.